Welcome to the audiobook of At This Table by Raphael Block. You'll hear 72 poems and a song, Destiny Tango, recorded in February 2015 on a hospital bed 1 week after a major operation. With thanks to my dear friend Bhavani Judith Cook for playing guitar. The book ends with 4 songs and can be found on my website, raphaelblock.com. Please enjoy. Thank you. This snail. Now a window of slowness opens, so this snail can return to itself and its true home. This table. How amazing is this day! The spider's web casts its shadow play, lilies sing in sprays, redwoods and broad oaks hold sway, ripe berries for beaks and lips, patches of white lace, all set on this delicate plate. We at your table, but guests. Unlikely and Least, after E. Cummings. When faces call flowers come out, rain splashing, all rainbow bands but green, and treely buds whisper crimson again, hills come alive, skipping echoes, hearts and wings fast flutter with spring. Scent plum blossom reels, the naked come clothed, and the clothed shyly naked. For all is giddy and skyless, tumbling in vastness and outness, earth's belly first cries spring. While those under the willow broken cry out, their ringing passion midwifing, crocus shoots rise, felt yet unseen, in faces unlikely and least. Summer winds. High summer winds gust and blow, reddening apples, plums, bough, and show themselves in these shaping shimmers. A streaming rush sounds as a troop of white clouds straddles the hill, while up in the redwood cluster high-pitched trills bound and flutter over yellowing grasses. A swell of molecules cascades. Once more all is fro and to and fro, playful limbs sway. Yet silence reigns, not reigns of vigorous motion in, not at all, but the springboard for birds' commotion, whistling trees, a soaring vulture, and my rustling heart now still. Fingerling. Fingerling of blossoming pine, I would never have noticed you so high on a branch. Child and parent of 70 feet, arms spiraling outward and upward in perpetual dance. Fallen from your nest you lie, creamy yellow clusters between green soft needles shine, from brown overlapping cones, all wrapped in wafting perfume, I name you 1,000 blessings. Unsung songs. 1,000 branches vault into the bird-bound blue, while feathered darkly on gnarly limbs my unsung songs roost unseen. I lean closer, closer to hear them croon. Loops of vibrant singing sweep as bright-eyed robin greets each branch and twig before springing nimble. Lilting notes propel crocus shoots past snow and rock, their bulbs surviving mole and worm. Daffodils burst inside and shining chime. Love reels and spirals to my roots, wills me keen my sorrow, moan my pain, woo those hymns snowed under shame. Keen my sorrow, moan my pain, woo those hymns snowed under shame, to take wing in circling flight, to take wing in circling flight. The hum. Wings a-whir, long curved beak lavishes loving care on each purple bell. Salvia in turn opens a few florets for her guests. Back and forth darts a green-winged gleam, zooms up for a rest in silver birch. A quick dive into open flowers, tongue flicking faster than eye can follow. Gleam flits away for a solitary second, hummer to weave its fluttering melody. Glinting red and green, sun-flashing throats, feisty foragers hover on fall feast. The lunge. Wind whips across his white body, rippling those soft feathers, waves riding in the nearby bay. His 6-inch spear bound to 2 beady eyes and serpentine neck leads this great question mark balancing on black stilts. Poised, intent on hunting along a bank of ice plant by Lucas Wharf, a few feet off the coastal highway, he barely blinks at car alarms and engine starts as he stands stretched above hidden holes. His neck stiffens, begins to snake, a downward lunge, white wings outspread over a full-grown gopher plucked from its den. He works it between that razor-yellow beak, bringing it closer to his gullet bit by bit. A quick flick of his head, and that furry body's now visible only as muscled movement down his quavering nape. The great bird stands still, then returns to utter focus above the holes nestled below purple rayed flowers. My Mary and Martha. Call this person, email that one. Martha watches the items on a never-ending to-do list slide off the page like small beads on a slope, or scented vegetable peelings poured onto the compost, leaving only the basics, rice, milk, and bread. Everything else can wait, including my nagging mind. Mary hears a flock of upside-down chickadees sing as they glean insects off the oak leaves. A pair of beating dark wings on a blue body darting among flowers. A friend's call. My to-do list lets go, and we are all happier. Watering the garden, responding, all will happen in their own good time. A whisper dances inside, drawing me near, away from the glittering din of distractions, toward the sweet notes of Mary's devotions, while my Martha cooks soup in the kitchen. Destiny Tango. This hyacinth fills the room with its sweet scent. Like a huge fruit, it leans its head towards the earth. Grown from bulb crammed in a small pot, it seems unable to fulfill its goal, to offer pollen, fertilize the ground with seed, scatter purple petals on a breeze. Yet it will find a way around to make its bough both lasting and profound. The choicest plum. The dawning sun hidden in the trees spies me standing beside long strands of ruby plums, reaching to feel each fruit one by one, until a glistening orb slips into my palm and dripping lips under that ripening radiant one. Making porridge. Soak dried apricots to expand and meet the day. Toast oats to drive out the rancid. Add milk for life's kindness, a dash of salt for rock-bottom support, a handful of blueberries, their star-like openings touching our origins, peel an apple for nakedness of soul and bow to its core, whose seeds of wisdom can be tapped as needed. Bring all these to a slow simmer, let them bubble and mingle, yielding their goodness. Sprinkle wheat germ from fields of brown waves, yogurt to foster bovine patience. Cradle the bowl, enjoy its warmth and smells, chew caringly to overcome a lifetime of hurrying. Choose your own way of making, and whether it tastes bitter or sweet, embrace it. Dusk alights. When forget-me-nots have quieted and all greens blur in the slow fading light, you may have seen the calla lilies shining. They sail so white their hearts sway above broad leaves, yellow pollen fingers point upward, groove tracks draw you inward to a cusp, where you hold your breath until you hear a long, soft sigh. Meeting light. Through the windshield, light gleams on the fields. The light green willow leaves running along the creek seem brighter set against the just beginning greening hills, dotted with oaks, cows, sheep, small clumps of shy-hoofed deer, all chomp in well-manured pastures, as I too stand richly fed. Vultures wing soundless circles overhead. A perched hawk, red-tailed, its haunting call withdrawn, spies smaller prey. Crows rush, gust, and clatter onto walnut limbs to cackle and muster. I loom with the hunter, quail with its prey, prattle with companions until our souls are full flush-fleshed. By Walker Creek 1,000 white woolen eyes crown coyote brush. Dried fennel stalks drop silent seed. Among these wild ones I flourish and breathe, under sun, fog, rain sway. Coiling bends round the broadening bay, whose undulating ripples peep between, lending ease and grace against the pine-clad ridges, as the scudding sun plays upon my skin into unseen depths. Sprawled on the verge, a car-killed deer awaits its airborne team with sharpened smell to pick it clean. All seeps, sings, and bounds in me. All seeps, sings, and bounds in me. Is it the light, or the light that I am soon to leave? On bowed knees rest old trees, sinking into softened sod. The turn of seasons watch. Their path is slowly set, while mine is filled with urgency to laud and praise, give back one speck, one jot of all you pour into these marrowed bones, to give back one speck, one jot of all you pour into these marrowed bones. Winter solstice shine. They have come for fine berries in droves and lines, a few flapfuls and gulps, and off they fly to sing praise in the oaks, firs, and pines. Drunken whistles echo under mauve sunshine, rusty orange chests pressed on bright red wine. Meeting. Just a few looks and words, feelings travel through air, and our hearts lift or drown in love or love's sorrow. All it takes is one strike from the flint to spark each other, for tinder to light a tender rising fire. All it takes is one strike from the flint to spark each other, for tinder to light a tender rising fire. October butterfly. Far-flung butterfly, fanning yourself on a mound in a patch of October sun, those orange-black dotted wings have spun and spun through summer months. Is your harvesting done? Swaying bay branches barely hint at your bright bursts of flight, when for turn of speed I could only glimpse you sparely lighting on some leaf or flower. Your dark, still centre as motionless as the fulcrum of a fan. One step closer and you're off again whirling. Now and now all that counts. One step closer and you're off again whirling. Now and now all that counts. Pregnant air. Whipping wind and rain, hammering and echoing in bending trees, clattering on skylights, lashing rooftops and power lines with bounteous ease, rhythmically abating like the trough of a wave before belting onto fence and balustrade, pelting decks a steady rumble cascades, charges pregnant air to spring a rush of streams. All is flow, all is all, while we shelter from the squall. Revel in these powers that holy earth displays, our mountains of denial taller than the Himalayas. Into your arms. Upside down among dug fir cones swoop grey and white bush tits. So fast they flit, so high their chatter, and where can they fly but into your arms of branch, twig and sky? A garrulous three on a bare apple tree sally onto the grassy field, stir the soil for worms and seeds. Dazzling blue with orange chests, back they shoot onto brown limbs, with a flurry and flutter of whistles and wings. Where will they nest? And come the spring swallows, where will we dwell? Crevices, sandbanks and walls, under bridges, ledges and caves, adobe thatched and assorted homes, all in your arms, my dearest, my sweet, all in your arms. Like flocks of white swans we people rivers, marsh, ponds. Like bald eagles, so high we soar, so hard we fall. Yet always, always in your arms, where can we stray but into your arms? Vox Swifts. A trickle of black dots in the distance, swooping here and there for evening fare, swirls into a circling whir, vanishes, then returns. Twinkling airplane lights, in the east the full moon mounts. Faster, faster, their carousel swings around an invisible pole. Thicker, thicker grows this patchwork of 10,000 wings, with no hint of their roosting place tonight. Dark blurs fill the sky with high orbital trills, breathtaking dives intent on aerial dance. A few start to drop into a disused flue, as thousands upon thousands wait their turn. They swarm swiftly while a small stream funnels, bidden by what, into that black hole. A sudden scattering, then they burst into a figure eight, soar into the fading light, while far lower a brisk flow continues to slip into shelter's arms. In a matter of minutes they bed themselves with stunning precision, flutters of wings and twitters, silence, they're gone. One-eyed. My one-eyed cat licks rainwater in the plant bowl. She doesn't mind that there's mud in the bottom. Her paws scuttle across the wet deck while all beyond hides under a white drape. One-eyed, two-eyed or blind, stillness as thickly spread as homemade jam. Cold rain and winds. A shroud of morning mist blankets the hills and dips. Threads of crystal clear drops clothe each bare twig. The bay tree sways beside a towering eucalyptus. Invisible strands pull here and there. Ah, to be content, bathed by splash of rain, when going anywhere, for the going to remain at peace, for the somewhere to arrive before these open portals, undisturbed by driving winds. Summer storm. Sky flashes, rolling banks of sonic waves crack and echo through ceiling rafters. This is no fight among raccoons with spine-tingling guttural cries, or a stag chased down by a roar, teeth and claws closing in for the kill. This is no artillery duel or the ricochet of big gun barrels raining destruction on the fields. This is just ancient sheer terror, light and thunder releasing summer rain, pent-up energies, locked-up body memories. Let it strike the dark, sizzling sky. Let it deafen the ear with deep bounding bass, whether we cower or dance or bow down to this thirsting earth, our pores open to creation's sparks. Mount Shasta. Smell of late summer grass and horses. Reddish-brown dock seeds and yellowing weeds outcrop the rocks. Low pine-clad hills, a sweet singing in the cool breeze. The herd's shadows ripple across the field in a slow wave. Between nibbles of grass, long, elegant necks rise below a full moon. High above towers snow-capped Shasta. Love notes. She used to leave me notes. I'm on a walk, gone to meet a friend, but no longer. Sunlight on the horizon, the song of a robin, a companion's wise words. Ask for what you need, that too is sacred. Queen Anne's lace dotting the landscape, scent of summer peach, all sound your name, even as my overcast heart wails like a cat for the subtle manner that fills this frame and without notice empties it again. Judas Tree. Hundreds of bright brown pods like flocks roosting on wires rustle among round yellow-veined leaves below high woolen clouds of early fall. School kids weighed by backpacks trudge home. Parents weighted by worries, their eyes on the concrete. Do we dare see, do we dare be this dark beauty all about? Do we dare see, do we dare be this dark beauty all about? Clear silhouettes. Let go the torments of your mind beside a tree, your aches and pains. Embrace it as a friend who gives you ease. Suddenly double wings flit into the canopy. Its silhouetted leaves leap out, clear as your soul itself. With each breath the day meets you afresh. With each breath, the day meets you afresh. Bouquet. What can you say when out of the blue a girl hands you a red poppy and a dandelion she had plucked for herself? You have been given no less than the sun and Jupiter for companions. You were plodding uphill under an old load, and whoosh, now it's flown and you're soaring. Purple wings, two tipped with white splash, imprint on the poppy's petals. A smattering of yellow pollen dots a silky red expanse. Did the poppy stalk bend when she slipped its end inside the hollow dandelion stem, making a perfect bouquet? Ah, dent de lion, young lioness, your smile entrances. Pink lilies. When they first appear, tall, trumpeting summer, naked of leaf, yet full of intoxicating scent, messengers springing from the bulbous earth, peering through long grass and beds, you wish they would last forever, you wish they would last forever. Knowing your own period of grace is short like theirs, though we mark ours with more seasons. They will resurrect next year, while we, the mystery blows far ahead, only inner knowing might catch a glimpse of pink and deeper pink swaying on a stem. He comes to taste. He comes to munch late apples still hanging in November, but my entry startles him. Swerving, his noble antlers turn, gauging which route to take. His gait, once limber, tells of old injuries. Across the neighbour's line he stumbles and quickens, following the still dry gully out of sight, then slowly trots into the tall meadow following a doe. More dark coats flicker among the tawny stalks. Cars press on their way. A vulture wheels over the scene, as now and then an oak leaf tumbles, spiralling in the cool afternoon breeze. Dancing Lightly, Virginia, 1952 to 2013. A breath of cloud, dye-flushed sky, turning leaves, cool air on my cheeks, this the last time I sense the earth now as freshly as the first. Leaves twist, whirl, while I spin earthward, clouds shift. Each moment my eyes witness is borne by others' eyes. My plucked chords echo in others' feet. My pulsing warmth quickens hearts as the wind picks up and leaves begin to wheel, to dance. Squall. The winds that will be howling at all hours and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. William Wordsworth. Oak florets like dangling earrings of tiny purple grapes waver in the breeze. They fear we overlook the miracle of their birth and spirit that inhabits them from root to tip. A wave hovers over valleys and redwood ridges. It sounds through the crow's dark calls, crashes on deaf bones. By God, the rocks live more soulfully than we, glorious wavelengths beaming across the cosmos. I take drugs for kicks. I don't just mean my daily round of vitamins and pills. What I take gives me a mood and mind-altered state. I become what I see. Golden-crowned sparrows hopping in hedges, splashes and scents of fresh mint and sweet pea. I take off out the door, one foot after the other, for my fresh air fix. Recovery. Basking in warmth comes the autumn sun, not striding or panting or dallying or driven or chasing shadows. It effortlessly follows its path, and I, one ray, bend to its blessing, align my own orbit with those circling this heavenly and earthly body. A stitch in time. Two pairs of flashing forceps crisscross the river of my eye. The egrets dive, beaks click-clacking, and rise toward the light. Again and again they dip, twisting and turning, a tickle of thread. Up they fly with a catch back to the surgeon's hands. The suture's done. Let the wind. Granted sight again, I reel among revelling leaves. The bay and eucalyptus swing their limbs while a half-naked oak pirouettes. A thorny dark branch plum leans into a paper birch, rocking and shaking, a few last handfuls of golden flutters among its dangling cones. Let the wind do its work, let the wind do its work, strip and spin me too, through and through. By the hospital pharmacy. They couldn't be birds. It was only a quilt of soft-scored, undulating lines flowing on a sky of light pink circling into blues. Somewhere within the striped border and flower ribbon edge, 4-inch squares appear fluttering diagonally. Within each square, 2 triangles meet, flapping upward, upward. One red bearing white leaf circles, one blue with small red stars, one checkered triangle paired with a wing of green and blue flowers, another of orange trellises and white petal sets. Stand back, the flock is taking off. Only they know their destination as my heart lifts off with them. Reflections. White and grey cupped willow buds held in golden goblets like pollen caterpillars born on the same twig. Faint spring scent ebbs and rises with evening song. Red-winged blackbirds and grand-voiced small birds chorus by the banks of furrowed waters spattered with showers, overhanging branches, a mound of cloud, reflect back all there is. Each moment that I am fine-tuned. Each moment that I am fine-tuned through my breath-slowed thinking and feeling step, the mountain of ease and grace grows larger, the chasm of sorrow and joy deeper, sheer heights of unscaled gratitude echo louder, up and down a thundering canyon that won't dry out in harshest summer. This stone begins to roll, speeds up, meets others, triggers an avalanche of peace. Matinee. Cirrus clouds, once ocean-bound, come racing in. This one's a raccoon, piercing eyes, dark mask, before breaking into wisps so thin. Here comes a giant-eyed mermaid, tail whipping. Skulls sail, monsters dive, whatever you wish. A fluffy white poodle skates by and dissolves. Thick layers slide and chasse, chased by waves, riding on waves, spirit devas and pirates, no longer moored or marooned, sally over these hills, bringing drama, planks, pranks, and summer cool. The pot of creation so lightly stirred, simple ingredients, sun, water, air. Here bounds a gorilla, swallowed by a horrible glob. Spinning together, they've become a cloud Buddha. A sad-eyed troll has taken its toll. A genie asleep on its back wakes up as an elephant, and a big-nosed pronghorn is grinning along. Here they all play on the local outdoor screen. Don't miss them, don't miss them. It's a one-time only release. She comes to savor. A young doe on frosty ground pulls on the juicy turf growing along the leech lines. Eyes and ears ever alert, she bends to chew, raising her elongated neck while oval ears turn. Her white rump, face, and tufts match the hoarfrost, her darkened coat the color of a bare oak. She makes her way along the meadow slope towards the neighbor's fence line, vanishing in the pasture. As the sun touches the eucalyptus top, I spy her some 200 yards downhill, back and neck arching down and up again. Among the evergreens clothing these hills, bare poplars and red gums flame. A siren sounds on the winding highway. All falls still. The Irish Fiddler. For fiddler Martin Hayes and guitarist Dennis Cahill. His feet beat quarter notes and measures like horses cantering up a bridle way, while his bow points to the mountains, a steady uphill climb along running brooks, heather-purple rocks, straggling trees rooted tenaciously. For the descent, the team picks up pace, past scree slopes, green vales, smell of sweet hay drawing them faster, faster. The fiddler's torso twists and bobs, turning the trot into a gallop. At the swish of swell and waves, the driving guitar picks up the reins. The team is free to leave the path, take off beyond the peaks, beyond the cloud. Threaded droplets of sound boundlessly cascade in waterfall bursts, until we're taken over that ledge. Then there is no waterfall, no water. We land outdistanced by ourselves. Stealing fire. Paper and thin apple twigs catch the first match. Crow fans his wings, cackles and caws, letting everyone know that I've stolen it. I add fatter sticks, but fire won't be rushed. I eye the whispering tongues, next some pine and eucalyptus. Welcome heat springs. Then the first log. A mad reel begins as flickering flames spiral, lick and fly. Crow is stoked, laughing with each crackle that wildly leaps and jigs, and once dead ends up like his blackened coat. The fire must be fed, the fire must be fed, Crow taunts. And what of our own starving gods? House finch. Perched on a cart, flash your orange-red forehead and chest, while from your stubby bill sounds a gorgeous melody. You swoop to earth and trill, pecking in the thick of a rosemary hedge, just a few feet from the highway's roar. In the middle of April showers, others take up the song. Some let their hearts carry them home. And I bow low. I hear the deep rumble of thunder, winter rain, a mighty clap as wild winds chase around the canopies until all let go. Moss clumps on the oak's bark, while overnight long-stemmed toadstools sprout in moist mosaic warmth. A narcissus feigns spring with heady perfume. Forget-me-nots rise beneath unfurling leaves. Like newborn souls, the moth and butterfly slip out of their spiral-wrapped homes. Dark-eyed juncos splash in puddles, ruffle my reflections, and I bow low. My love's whisper, is it fluting through a sparrow's song, or borne on that hovering hawk's wings? The Promise. Who will go on this journey with me? Who will go? There's no promise of money, good health, fame or success. Who will go? Who? Through murderous shadows, writhing snakes, giants, tormented thieves, your prisoners unleashed, loss of purse and friends. Who will go? Who will still go? Through dark nights awake, the screech of a barn owl starting its beat, you, its prey. Beaten and broken until you give up when first light finds its way. Who will go with me? Who will? To meet the glow of your dreams, a sunrise inside, the melting of fear. First song, hushed wings of each fresh heart day. Who will go with me? Who will go? In the Bhav, stream of love, with thanks to Bhavani Judith Cook for her friendship and lyrics, for the heart knows the way. The heart knows the way, let it whisper all its secrets. What is searing you today will cast diamonds on the altar of the heart. Blue eyes reflect blue translucent light, now open, now shut beneath graying curls. Curled strumming fingers play thundercloud blue, earth-brown guitar. Inset Durga, mother of pearls, millennia of her Krishna core to fine-tune Bhavani's songs, quicken, hearten, ignite, vault deep and high, each note lived and coursing through, spilling into words and sounds, Hebrew, English, Sanskrit, in the bath. All her vibrations torch my naked soul's urge. The heart knows the way, let it whisper all its secrets. What is searing you today will cast diamonds on the altar of the heart. The Hanging Gardens. Beside the long birch, golden yellow trailings and a reddish-orange maple, a wooden stairwell leads to a small stoop. Here I sense through open slatted blinds the fabled Babylonian gardens. Leaves spill in bunches still against the thick white early morning curtain. Faint sounds of the well and highway rumble as my pulsing heart skips beats in its coop. As my pulsing heart skips beats in its coop. Clap and sing. The honeybee sings as it hovers from blossom to blossom. The tiny forget-me-not feels as giving as the wide daisy. The butterfly drinking nectar claps its wings in delight. Raphael, you worry about a pimple here, a scar there, indignities of the body. Rejoice you're able to witness such joy and bear what needs be. The Mound. So I cover myself with busyness, anything to paper over the cracks of pain, the call from the hive. My sweetness lies in joking asides and fishing for companions whose fear-hidden eyes won't look past the smoke screen masking our view through the window panes. Yellow jackets fiercely contest my half-baked reflections. Now and then I catch a rupture in my laughter, a fishbone momentarily snagged in a gullet. Through the tides of exhausted nights my mind and body churn. In their wake of white-capped hopes only the gulls give voice, shrieking and plunging. So the days and months pitch and plummet in the wind. My bones grown hollow drip with the fat of half-digested events. My smile bears itself. My sunken eyes suffer the nobility of age behind manicured looks and hunger unabated. In my sleep the sound of swarming wakes. The bees have built an earthen mound whose insides are thickly crusted with honey. How I long for their sweet song. With my bare hands I tear at its walls to touch that clotted substance, to smear it over my mouth and tongue, hair, chest, legs, and arms. For all things, jewels of searing red and amber lacquered leaves, gold rippling on the waves, silver moonlit beams, the tidal breath, your honeyed touch, melon-steeped perfume, all things precious to which we may lay no claim. The crow's call riding on the wind, the quail's high-pitched laugh, a thrush's song, lavender's scent in winter's spring, for the way life walks through us, the rich tones of your voice, evening's hush, all things precious we simply cannot claim. A burst of blinding rays, the deep pools of your eyes, a wing's pulse inside, the doe with her two fawns stock still, crinkly frost sapping the old, warm winter grain, and all things precious to which we may lay no claim. Redwood woven roots, coho salmon leaps for all that moves, the hummingbird's flashing flame, a heart of wax, cocoons wrapped in spring, your ever playful spark, all things precious we simply cannot claim. The Queen. When the piping of the queen does start, the young queens in their cells cannot resist the call, and gently piping back, the queen unsheathes her sword and stabs through each sealed door until their song is heard no more. A silence falls across the hive before the bees recoil. Only one will rule, only one will rules, rings throughout the combs and echoes round and round the walls. Keening hawk. I hear your cry carrying across the valley. I can't see you, yet your call touches something so deep, a half-remembered chord. Your pitch rises in urgent flight as you land in a distant pine. Your cries settle, but not mine, stirred to some unnameable sorrow. Ah, it's the pain of love, keen, alive, divine. Open moment. There comes a moment when the tree's orange glow outweighs its yellow-green large oval leaves, and it hurts to face them, because the sweet longing culled from my chest, the slow burning of a subtle blaze, spreads and spreads. Takeover. Fog rolls in, cloaking these valleys and hills. It swoops like a cast of vultures who've scented the kill. I've grown so tired of this cover story that scrapes by on carrion. My mind's reruns of stale drama clips my nagging, rotting lists. I need you to take over. I want you to swoop in. I need you to take over. I want you to swoop in. Knock-kneed. Fighting for each captured breath, I stop to rest, my heart spellbound by two slugs twined in a double helix on a red brick wall, bubbling froth while they coil in unbroken embrace before this too human clay. No words can map the ripples that cosmic act spawned, for months fermenting inside, until it forced me knock-kneed to your door. The nourishing bird of longing. A huge bird of turquoise greens and blues lifts off. Is she a phoenix rising, or is she bent on flying into the licking flames? Not for her the shy, distant circling of the sun, not for her the hesitancy of fear, but the clear intent in every muscled fibre beating in her body to follow her sharp beak and lucid eye into those molten tongues that race toward her at ever greater speed until her cry fuses with the blaze. Night. After Edna St. Vincent Millay. Night is my sister, and how deep in love with shadows, clouds, and stars so deep I am. Though these flaming worlds shine by day, who stops to acclaim their uncanny ways? When the first bat flits with alarming aplomb, announcing that night, my sister, has come, and the blossoming moon floats into the sky, my sister sets a stage for the cricket tide, the skulking cat, Hecate's owl, a singed moth still searching for the light, a choir of prayers in full flight, shadows overarch and merge, and though it is chilly, I will gladly tarry with my many-faced sister, Night. Heart thrown. I lost an eye. What a relief! Fungus kept creeping back into my orb, but now no more. I lost a dear friend within 2 weeks. His spirit soars, though his family flounder in their grief. From behind, 2 sharp-clawed paws rip open my chest. My life force flees in bloody rivulets. By the banks I sit, an emptied shell. One eye takes in all this terrible magnificence. Fiery leaves swirling in waters which fall and flood beyond my will. Doors flung open to my throne, let in lynx, fox, and you, my friend. Doors flung open to my throne, let in lynx, fox, and you, my friend. A sight divine. A sea of sunny faces greets me. They gently wave. Familiar friends rise once again for the pleasure of murmuring winged creatures. Each petal a ray like you or me. Each golden pollen centre a heart like mine or yours, arrayed in unpretentious glory, unafraid, open to breeze rain the mower's blade, they'll spring again to heap their blessings on another timeless day. These vast bare-headed cleaners, spiraling high on valley thermals, their wings occasionally beat, bringing them closer to circle above the meadow. Familiar black and silvery white undersides lilt and shift, beaks following a scent. One swoops down, lands, bounces a few paces to bury its head in a fresh-struck doe at the road's edge. Two more hop to the carcass to begin the kettle's meal. More settle on power lines nearby to wait their turn. Not a scrap wasted, they take their fill. Others dive in, these sharp-beaked, acid-strong earth cleaners, until engorged dusk and darkness drive them to silent roost. Morning comes afresh to fan outspread wings above the fog, straddling a barely living dying oak, reaching for the heat of the oncoming sun. Our sister Death is bountiful. What mercy she shows her creatures. Our bodies, the first and last nourishment we receive and give to this beloved earth. The Great Fisher. This urge to cast for words, my soul's need to squeeze, coax, trick, coerce, to sculpt and shape as I am shaped, to tender in cupped hands my common senses and single witness on breaths that pulse and beat. Buoyed by joy of red-headed vultures meeting on a swirl of air, a soaring red-tailed hawk over fields and woods of oak, bay, pine, madrone, spiraling silence. Buoyed by sorrow and regret for my bumbling ways, wrapped in sheet-splashing rain as inside heat surges and burns, pained by the fall of trees and friends, that unending longing drumming through arteries and veins. These are mine to sing from the depths of the sea, for the shoaling fish while the oyster purls. These are mine to sing from the depths of the sea, for the shoaling fish while the oyster purls. Prayer for Light. Hear the rustle of fall in the oak's dull yellowing leaves, their downward drift. See some caught in the firethorn's orange-red berry cascades. Soft-scented needles litter the ground. A half-moon watches over as the sunlight fades. Birds grow more silent, pines more still. Dogs pick up each other's barking, while the crawl of late summer traffic snakes along the crest. A fawn bounds into the apple orchard. All will have their fill, even us, trussed by the terrible heat we bring. Bats flicker among the twilit trees. Ancient grasses sway as the cricket's echoing song strikes up this darkest night. The Hawk and the Mockingbird. A red-shouldered hawk, razor-sharp eye and claws, perched in shade, silently swoops, baring its orange neck and breast, and with a thrust of wings lands in a nearby oak, where its hooked beak plucks out entrails and swallows them length by length. Downhill I hear a mockingbird's refrain. Am I not contained in everything? So sing your praises, sing your pain, for I am your friend. An Underground Stream, after Rilke. An underground stream leads my life's movements, sometimes into torrents and sometimes into quiet whirls. I'm in control, I say, watching the surface trickle of tumbling pebbles and darting fish. If I were shown the thinning oaks, piles of fruit, rotting limbs and crumbling rocks on the farther shore, and told, you made these, could I take in the poverty of my vision? How this earth and the planets suffer us? Gift. This wooden bowl given by a friend sits on a windowsill beside my desk, still filled with the see-through ribbons that wrap the gift. Its rounded form and lip resemble her open face, lit by the many-sided expressions of her oh-so-visible states. Although our ways seldom meet, and yes, I own to some regrets, her light touch and humour top this bowl to the brim, and splashes of laughter replenish its shape. Herringbone round. Herringbone stripes set against the black skin almost cover one side of my nakedness. I'm sculpted and shaped, sometimes gnawed, often bitten, so I'm always growing smaller. Do I gladly give myself to all comers? I sigh, remembering the one who moulded me from sheep's milk into a round protected on all sides by a waxy skin. In my veins run memories of the flock grazing on a hillside, fresh smells of clover, daisies, dandelions, of the hands that squeezed me out of a mammal's warm udders. It seems like another lifetime. Now I sit on a board, my pale yellow peaks looking out across a dining room table, to rowan trees flying in the wind and a bank of roses. It's so peaceful here. When the next guest slices me, in cuts the pain, but lighter and lighter until nothing remains. Tern. Elegant terns with orange beaks and forked tails pool and rise in the shallows of the bay, emitting cries millions of years old, echoed by long-beaked marbled godwits, black-bellied plover, western gulls with brown-feathered juveniles as large as themselves. We step across the road into Owl Canyon, follow a short trail, ducking under willow and eucalyptus, crawling below lichen-layered trunks to listen to a trickling creek and pick a few blackberries stretching past cow parsley and hemlock, into the ancient mists. We laugh at our foolish notions of time, the master we've forgotten, fleeing from in fear and disbelief, when she always in her generosity gives enough, depending on how we turn. Hidden under whiteness. Pines hidden under whiteness. Snow or early morning fog covering my heart. The call. My sheikh is meditating. I feel the call like a church bell or a minaret, drawing me deeper, deeper. Whoever says there is no time is correct. Beyond time, beyond mind, deepest peace. This ocean waiting for lovers to dive in. Rooted night. I see him clear, skinny-ribbed, dark curly hair, the dried-out ditch for a dare. He shinnies up a pine, higher, higher, under the pelting sun, until thinning limbs sway, and I worry for him as his mother did. Yet he keeps going and calls down in laughing peals, "Hey, look at me, I can see so far." Now to climb down. Heart pumping, he feels for toeholds while gripping branches so slipping feet can burrow in a fold, a shifting temporary home. He jumps the last few feet and lands on the ground. Brown eyes longingly glance back. How far I've fallen from that child's heights. But still he wings in me love of trees, life teeming all around, that fecund wealth within, their quiet power, rollicking waves of rhyme sponged from his mother's tongue, the grief I feel for fallen friends, the oak, the bay, brought down by endless whining teeth. 1,000-fold our bodies twine with trees, trees spirit-twinned and breathing in our own, in sunlit limbs, in sombre silhouette, in the spirited unseen women and men who plumb the depths of rooted night to water seeds with light through open, pulsing hearts. This hyacinth fills the room with its sweet scent, like a huge fruit. It leans its head towards the earth, grown from bulb, crammed in a small pot. It seems unable to fulfill its goal, to offer pollen, fertilize the ground with seed, scatter purple petals on a breeze. Yet it will find a way around to make its bow both lasting and profound. This hyacinth fills the room with its sweet scent, like a huge fruit. It leans its head towards the earth, grown from bulb, crammed in a small pot. It seems unable to fulfill its goal, to offer pollen, fertilize the ground with seed, scatter purple petals on a breeze. Yet it will find a way around to make its vow both lasting and profound.